I think that in college and in school, in my personal experience, you guys are taught a lot of textbook. You're reading entrepreneurship, sales, marketing out of its definition versus actual real life experience. So I'm going to be breaking down my personal experiences, and hopefully that both inspires and educates you guys. All right, first question. Who here has started a business or is actively running one? Just one? All right, two? Good. Okay. We're going to pretend that everyone has ran a business today. I'm going to talk to you as if you're already in the shoes of a business owner, because if you're in this club, hopefully that's kind of what you're thinking about doing in your future. My first business was reselling sneakers. Some pictures here. Literally worked up to an inventory of over 300 pairs at a time, selling certain shoes, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, Yeezys, everything, Jordans, everything. The way this business worked, buying in bulk for a discounted price. So mass purchasing to lower the price. It's the same in any product that you have. If you're doing drop shipping, the more product you buy, the cheaper the price per inventory is going to be. And then I was using social media as well as building my clientele using social media. So that's me reaching out to college basketball players, college football players, even local high school friends, people like that, anyone who I think I could sell a sneaker to, and building that clientele base. Then third step, basically selling it with 20 to 40% profit margins. That's super ideal. You can start at 10% and kind of work your way up. It also depends on the price of the shoe itself. Because if you're buying a $1,000 shoe and selling it for $1,100, you just made $100 like that. So then the actual margin of the profit doesn't matter as much. Okay, question. How long do you guys think it took before I made my first sale?
3 months.
3 months.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
About a month, yeah.
1 year after 1,000 hours of research. Okay, guys? 4 hours a day on YouTube. Researching about all different types of things, the history of the product itself, the value and price point of the product, market trends, what's popping, media and marketing, social media, and then the actual reselling strategies. Point here is nothing good happens like this. It takes time and research to build a quality product and service within your business. Example, started with $5 and 3 shoes, okay? It was literally a process of, we have $5, we probably have 3 shoes in our closet. I'm not getting an investor when I'm 13 years old, let's make something out of this. $5, sell those 3 shoes, now we're at 15, buy a pair of sneakers for $15, and now we're trying to flip it for 30. That was my business model to start with. Another guess. How much do you think I made in sales by the age of 15? Keep in mind I started at 13. Reselling sneakers, guesses.
$200.
200 bucks.
600 bucks.
600 bucks.
$1,000.
$1,000.
Okay,
$100,000 from 1,000 plus sales by the age of 15. We're now starting to establish some credibility here. This was me working every single day after school. Thousands of orders being processed within those 2 years, roughly 5, 10, 15, 20 shoes a day. That could be anything from a $30 pair of cheap Nikes to a $5,000 pair of off-white Jordans. Why was this business so successful? Putting in the reps. Okay guys, I was sending out 30 DMs per day using Instagram to NBA, NFL, and all types of college players. In this process, I established outstanding relationships with both the buyer and supplier. This is something that you may not get right initially. You might target one thinking, oh my gosh, I need all these cool clients, but then you're not creating those quality relationships with the supplier who's giving you that product. Athletes and celebrities, I made this very relatable for you all. A bunch of UVA athletes. Ty Jerome, Desmond Roberts when he was in high school, Casey Marcel, Braxton Key, football player, Ty Jerome. Giving you guys this example to kind of show what's possible. This was me at 14 years old, meeting up. I actually had an entire warehouse type of thing in my house where these guys were going weekly to shop, like in my garage type thing. And then on the other end, the retailers and resellers, establishing relationships with them. Not only was I working with local sneaker and clothing stores as well as resellers, but I was establishing relationships at retailers like Nike. I had all of the inside plugs with the people working there, so as soon as a new order of something I wanted came in, I was on top of it like that, and they would sell me all of their product because of that established relationship. All good things come to an end. Next chapter of my life, getting there in a second. Key takeaways from that business. The quantity of reps determines your success. It was a numbers game for me. Sending out all of those DMs, buying as much inventory as possible, establishing as many quality relationships as possible, and then even like making Instagram posts promoting the product itself. Huge rep team. Work doesn't have to feel like work. This was huge for me. I chose something that I was genuinely passionate about. I loved sneakers at the time. I was playing basketball. It's something that I really cared about. And every single day of running this business felt like fun. It didn't feel like I'm showing up to do this chore or task. And I want everyone else to feel and experience what that's like, to get paid doing something you truly love. And then the third one's doing the research. I love the point of like working for a year before you make your first dollar. This is a huge thing which people really don't understand. And that's why a lot of people quit like this, is because you have this big idea, it doesn't work in the first 3 months, and then you're quitting trying to move on to the next thing, when you needed to put in an entire year of work before that first sale. New stage of life, my fitness journey. This started when I was 14, 15 years old. Put on 50 pounds of muscle. This really taught me discipline, what I want from my life. Establishing like not only the discipline, but also like the goal setting, the nutrition paired with the lifestyle of being like kind of a bodybuilder. This was a huge chapter of my life. During that time, I was studying like big time. These are lots of people who you guys probably know. Combination of actual sales, mindset, social media, just overall like relationships and stuff like that, mastering it for completely free on YouTube from these types of people. I truly believe that you want to get all of your information from the #1 source in the world. I don't want to learn from somebody who isn't currently doing that at the highest level themselves. For me, this is free content on YouTube for roughly 3 years leading up to now. New idea, combine my skills in entrepreneurship with my passion for fitness and wellness. This created the self-improvement movement by Project 1%. Tony heard about this earlier. Project 1% was my first official company. My goals with it was to build a community, monetize with a product or service, and host in-person and online events. The way that we went about doing the branding was through merchandise. We believed that if somebody was physically representing our brand and you're walking down the street with it, people are now like doing this all the time, wondering what it is. So we established the brand itself with merchandise as a branding and marketing purpose. Not necessarily the best thing to get yourself into, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. You have to have supply and demand, or else that product is just sitting at your house for who knows how long. I'm dealing with this a little bit. However, you'll see that it did pretty well. Question: how much did this cost right here? Those boxes of t-shirts, guesses?
$6,000.
$6,000.
$3,000. $1,000. $10,000.
$15,000 spent in one day as a senior in high school. I spent every last dollar I had on that clothing company because I was investing into my future. You have to take these giant sacrifices to have giant returns. This was me investing into myself. In this process, we traveled the entire country doing photo shoots. You'll see here in the next slide, built a team of superstars. Looking at this picture, all different types of people, athletes, celebrities, influencers. To give some examples, lots of D1 athletes, true professional athletes, top content creators with over 200,000 followers and even up to 1 million followers each. These were all people working for me, growing and expanding the brand for all of my marketing purposes. This was a question I was gonna ask, or have you guys guess, but we did $2,000 in sales in the first 20 minutes of the company going live. So all of that traveling, all of the different people we were working with, all of those photo shoots, to make $2,000 in 20 minutes just like that. Perspective, I was still a senior in high school, in school full time, had a part-time job as a manager at a gym, and was training in the gym 6 times per week. You guys are in a situation very similar to this right now, where it feels like your life is full of 1,000 different things, but you need to have the perspective of more is possible. You're capable of more at all times, and it's making the little adjustments to figure out what fits your lifestyle best based on your goals. But I'm trying to urge and preach this perspective that you're capable of a lot more. Reminder, anything is possible. After 6 months of all of the studying, me graduating, going on fun trips, kind of like relaxing a little bit, craziest idea, I think you could open a gym. This came from my mom. Fitness, loved it. Business, loved it. Took a little 6-month break after that company. Here she is telling me that I think you could open a gym. Things to consider when opening a gym. This is probably about 10% of the actual list. These are things which I had to go into very, very, very in depth. You can see it right here. It's stuff that you don't want to think about. Location, size, cost, that's very simple stuff. Do I need to have a good credit score? Where am I getting the gym equipment? Software, I've never done software before. This isn't something that I had to do in high school. Collaborations, how am I gonna meet new people? Taxes, I hate taxes, but I have to do taxes because this is the reality of owning a business. These probably 10% of everything on my list that I have to think about every single day. Location number 1, calling this the learning experience. Didn't go so well. With 1,800 square feet, a brand new build, $27 per square foot, still in need of construction, in an isolated location with minimal parking, this was the first property which we dove into, trying to get our hands on and trying to lease it. This happens after, I want to say, about 4 months of us getting into this process, learning everything about what it takes to lease a commercial property. We get the quote on our construction. Contractor, $170,000 to build the building before us even putting in any equipment, any lighting, anything like that. $170,000 just for construction. I knew in that minute this made no sense, right? I don't have the money for it. This property may not even be the best one in Charlottesville. What am I doing jumping to this one first thing that I saw right away like that? Took a step back. Let's be patient and find the right option. Reminder to not always jump into the first thing that comes to your mind and actually truly processing whatever it is you want from your life and your goals. Location number 2, this is the one that we're with now. Uplift Training Club is the name of the company. 5,100 square feet, roughly 3 times the size of the first one. Fully constructed, outstanding price, prime location on the downtown mall. You guys are all familiar with it. All the hundreds of restaurants right there. Unlimited parking, it's next to the 6-story Water Street garage right there. And a beautiful aesthetic, just that old building, good vibes, exposed metal, exposed wood. Overcoming the impossible. This is where it gets interesting. We now found our property. How do we get the property? That's how much it's worth. Okay, guys? And this is me. 19 years old, no renting experience, minimal credit history, brand new business, no daddy's money. How are we going to get this $1.6 million property? Big question, let's figure it out. The solution is leverage. Leverage is something that everyone in this room is going to have to use at some point if you guys start a business. You have to make yourself become the bigger person. Step 1, business plan. How many of you guys have made a business plan before? There we go. Good job. Was it 73 pages? Anyone? No? Okay. By deep diving into every single aspect of the business, you are proving your expertise and passion for the vision. You have to go that extra mile when you have little leverage. Younger person, no history with this thing. How do we create big dick energy within business? Leverage. Step 2, business advisors, 2 people, not mentioning who they are. First one, 25 plus years of business ownership experience. Former CEO and founder of Microsystems, that's a company here in Charlottesville. Largest manufacturing plant in Charlottesville. I want to say it's well over 100,000 square feet. They did over $26 million just last year, and this specific business advisor exited his company at 60-something years old, well over $100 million. Him personally exiting his company. That's my number 1 business advisor. Number 2, 15 plus years of business ownership. Founder and CEO of Super Fitness Gym Equipment. You can search it up. Largest gym equipment facility in the country. Averages 7 gyms opening per month. And is the number 1 gym flooring supplier in the country. This is like taking the top dog in the industry which I'm getting myself into with owning a gym. The combination of an entrepreneur worth over $100 million with the guy who's leading the industry in gym equipment sales is creating an outstanding amount of leverage, which then minimizes the appearance of me being this 19-year-old innocent, unknowledgeable kid. Step 3, the funding. In just 7 days, I was able to raise roughly $100,000. This, just some life experience for you guys if you need to raise money at any point. Initially, it's gonna have to be from investors, friends, or family members. Banks aren't gonna give you money if you have no history within owning a business. So that's like later along the lines when you've done $100,000 in sales, $1 million in sales, then they're able to give you money. But initially, you're either working for it yourself, investors, friends, and family. Step 4, building the team. This is huge for me. Ryan's a part of the team behind the camera. I work with him every single day. It's been an absolute pleasure. Everyone on this team, absolute savages. Top personal trainer in Miami. Steven, that's who I was talking about, owner of Super Fitness. Caroline and Liam both have PhDs from UVA, top personal trainers in Charlottesville. I have interviews every single day with new personal trainers trying to become a part of the team. Very, very, very selective with the people who are within this circle, because who you surround yourself is what the world believes of you. So you have to choose the right people. Core values over skill sets. This is adding on to what I just said. Thinking about these people. Are they skilled at what they do? Great. What I care about more, their core values. Does it align with what I believe in as a human being? Questions that you should ask these people or think about when finding team members. Do you trust them with your business? Would you be proud to introduce them to your parents? And do you feel comfortable and safe with them? These are 3 things you have to analyze before thinking about their skill sets. Remember this when the time comes that you're building a team. Step 5, execute. Flawless interactions. Every single email, phone call, in-person meeting, being on A game, completely dialed at all times. Any second of not believing in yourself is a sign of flaw that you're not confident within your business and that you haven't done the research. So coming in prepared, questions answered in advance. If you know that this person, this older person, the guy that you're trying to get your property from, the guy, the investor you're trying to get money from, if there's questions popping in your head, I think he's gonna ask me that question, it's your responsibility to find the answer before you walk into that meeting. And then confidence in the business. It's you just trusting what you're creating and doing it from the heart versus from copying the other guy on YouTube. Believing in what you're creating is so huge. Property secured. I'm in that property. You guys can come check it out. It's probably 5 minutes from here. We're roughly 50% done with the build, and it'll be open in roughly 3 to 4 weeks. So, new gym, come check it out. Since then, we've started a reality TV show. Ryan's the filmer, producer, editor of that show, believe it or not. Purchased all of our gym equipment. Not gonna say how much, but it was a lot. Moved over 30,000 pounds of weight in roughly 4 to 5 days between 4 or 5 people. That sucked. Met with multiple 8+ figure entrepreneurs in person in Charlottesville on these different trips that we were going on, or on Zoom meetings getting advice from these different types of people who could add leverage and expertise to my business. And then second to last, organically produced 200,000 views in 30 days on our social media. We went from completely me not posting for 2 to 3 months to going ham on it every single day, just 1 post a day, and organically produced 200,000 views. So when you have a team behind you, when you say the right things, when you're really passionate about the business, I highly suggest you document and put this process on social media, because those 200,000 views are 200,000 potential leads. My gym only needs 60 members to be profitable, and I have 200,000 eyeballs on me in the first 30 days. You do the math, it's like business is good like that, using social media as the marketing tool. And then so much more beyond that. Question, now that you heard about these 3 businesses, what are some key things that you guys realized that made them all successful? Any reoccurring themes? Question, answers, fire. Anyone else?
Patience in general, putting in the work before you really start seeing results.
Yeah. One more.
Consistency.
Consistent. Bam. 3 bangers. Topic of today, how do we find $1 million networking opportunities? That's the first one. You guys were both completely correct. There's 1,000 different things that leads to one's success. To be honest, it all starts within the mind, but meeting these other people is what leads to the greatest opportunities, because you're trying to put yourself in the shoes of somebody who's ahead of you, and you can only learn about this next level from the people who are already there. Don't take advice from somebody who's making less money than you, that type of thing. What would you guys do to find these $1 million opportunities, or what are you currently doing to try to find those networking opportunities?
What do you mean?
Good. Like it.
Talking to people, like getting
Where?
on Zoom calls.
Where? How?
Through people I know, LinkedIn.
Okay.
Personal connections.
Yep.
Shooting Instagram DMs.
Yep. One more. $1 million opportunities. Networking. When you think of networking, where do you go?
Professors.
That's good. All right, cool. Let's talk about it. This is the end of this slideshow. Top 5 strategies. This is stuff that I want you guys to like ingrain in your head right now and apply it as soon as you possibly can. Because even though you may not have a business right now, you can start applying these strategies, especially in college when you're in such a social environment. First one, directly contact the CEO or founder. We're going to skip all of the bullshit because the girl at the front door doesn't have the same answers that the CEO or founder has. You want to go directly to the source. My personal example, ACAC, everyone knows about it, correct? Gym here, big corporate gym. You guys aware? Okay. It's like one of the largest corporate gyms in the East Coast. Headquarters in Charlottesville. When I was 16 years old, junior in high school, I reached out to the founder of ACAC, who's 70-something years old, started the company when he was 30. And by basically breaking down my process of, this was the business I started, this is how it became successful, this is what your gym has done for my personal life within my fitness journey, creating this like transformative experience. I thank you for that. I'd love to be a part of this team. He gave me a job as a manager, which you says in the job description you needed 4 years college experience with like have graduated 4 years of college. And he gave that to me at 17 years old. Because a handful of things. Why? Nobody else has the balls. This is the reality of the situation. Like, you have to be the guy that goes out of your way to put yourself in the situation, because all of your other competition is going to the application page and writing out their job description of why they want to be a part of this team on the simple form that some other person within the company is going to read and decide if you're good enough or not. Go directly to the source. Avoid the rat race, go to the source, save time, and maximize results. How? You're going to propose your value to their business and express why you're different than every other person. Explain the ACAC story. You're just trying to put yourself in another category which all the other competition is not doing. You need to express why you are different and why you deserve more than every other person. And to be fair, you need to have the confidence within yourself that you are more special and capable of every other person. So build those skill sets in advance before you go asking for a job. Strategy number 2, master social media messaging. This has been something that's absolutely transformed my life. Why? You are literally one click away on all of these phones from messaging your favorite celebrity, athlete, and billionaire. Like this. Yet, how many of you guys have messaged your favorite celebrities, actors, business owners, billionaires? Well, 10%, let's say. But you're this close. So when you're starting your business, it's almost like your responsibility, in my opinion, to go out of your way to put yourself in the circle with these types of people because of how accessible it is right now. Strategy behind this, because you could send them a dick pic and it's going to go nowhere, right? Yeah. Give before you take. Okay? You're not asking for something from these people, you're proposing what type of value you have to give to them. So within your business, you're not saying, I want you to be in my commercial because I think you're great. It's like, this is everything your company has done for me. I would love to talk about a potential partnership in the future. You're not asking for them to be in the commercial like that. You're establishing a relationship and then working off of that. 3 sentences max. This is an Instagram DM, let's say. Cold DM. If you send them a paragraph or multiple paragraphs, they're thinking right away that this is a waste of my time because this is a billionaire who has 1,000 other messages to get to. Why would he read 6 paragraphs of what you sent them? 3 sentences max, 2 to 3 ideal. Number 3, be human. They're receiving bot messages every single day, every single second. You have to somehow stick out within that list of messages which they just received. So sound like a human being, give before you take, and minimize it to 3 sentences. Strategy number 3, shoot 100 shots to make 1. I said this quote naturally. To guarantee success, you need to put in the reps. Great example. How many of you guys know Tony Robbins? Question. Anyone? Okay. Big business guru. He's been the owner of the Golden State Warriors. He's worked with every professional athlete you could possibly imagine on maximizing their mindset, as well as business owners to maximize their profits within their business. He worked directly with Steph Curry. Steph Curry took 4 million practice shots to make 3,000 in game. You guys do math better than I do because I haven't taken it for 3 years. You could do the percentage. 4 million to only land 3,000. You need to shoot, text, call 100 messages to land just 1. And that 1 that you land is that $1 million opportunity which you've been waiting for. Why? Because why would you not do that? You have the time, you can create a text message, that message that you perfectly wrote out, you can hit copy and you can paste it to 100 different people on 100 different emails, Instagram DM, all these different things like that. So why would you not do it? You determine your success. Your laziness determines how poorly you do. The more you put in, the more you get out. How? 10 to 40 DMs per day. This is something we can all do. Copy that message, 10 to 40. Bam, done. 15 phone calls. I understand you guys are in college. This is something to think about when you're out of college. 5 to 15 phone calls is really not that much. You need to get that elevator pitch for your business dialed as quickly as possible so that you can hook that person within the first 30 seconds and have these very quick, efficient phone calls. And then your backup option, if neither of those 2 things work, is to then email them. And if you can't find their email, you're working to find that celebrity, entrepreneur, billionaire's manager or close friend or whoever it is to find that email, because you know that this one person can completely transform your business. $1 million opportunity. Strategy number 4, design your inner circle. We are who we surround ourselves with. Why? You're trying to scale your business. We are only capable of so much ourselves. 2 to 3 friends all in alignment with the shared goal is a recipe for success. I wish that I was in college so that I could find my 3 to 5 friends that we can work with every single day to create this business. You guys have the greatest opportunity right now to start, because you're handed all of these people in the same classroom, in the same building, at the same parties every single day. So it's your responsibility to start this now while you have the opportunity. For me, not in school, I have to go out of my way 1,000 different directions to try to find people. How? Go to places that promote productivity. I think gyms are the best. Everyone in the gym is trying to work on themselves. They're trying to improve. They're trying to become 1% better. And that applies within a business as well. Discipline, showing up for yourself, 1% better every day. All these philosophies apply for somebody in the gym. You guys can decide what those places look like for you. Reach out to people with similar interests. This is a great example of you guys doing that right now. You saw the entrepreneurship program, this club. You said, I'm interested in entrepreneurship. I'm going to be a part of this. Good for you. Take advantage of it while you have it. This is a lot of brains that together can work together to create something really cool. And then help each other and don't hurt each other. This is super huge. We as friends are supposed to help each other and not hurt each other. What that looks like is promoting each other to do positive things and minimizing the distractions and the things which are going to put you backwards. Strategy number 5, attend high-value events in person specifically. Handshakes beat DMs. This is 100% a fact. DMs are great because you can do it at a mass scale. You can send 100 tomorrow and get 5 responses by the next day. You going up to these people who I'm kind of talking about, this social media influencer who you look up to, the billionaire that's doing the live seminar at that event, or the actor who you know is going to be at this premiere of their movie. You going up to that person and giving them the handshake is the greatest chance of you actually building a relationship versus a DM. And understanding that other people are at a seminar type event or a Gymshark Lift Club type of event, something that I went to recently, to also network with other people. So be as quick and efficient as possible and getting their attention. Choosing events based on your specific type of business. This means don't go to the porn star ceremony unless you're an OnlyFans manager. Sound good? Make it about them instead of making it about you. This is you, like, being of, how do I explain this? I've made this mistake myself, where I go up to somebody and right away I'm selling them on why I'm the best entrepreneur, why my business is so good, why they need to be a part of this thing. And I just sound like another kid off the street who's trying to get my big break and is desperate for their attention. So instead you're trying to flip that model. I'm a big fan of this business or this campaign or this marketing shoot that you did for this company. I think you nailed that. I'd love to talk about how there could be a potential partnership here. Last one, secure the phone number with intention. If you're gonna ask for somebody's phone number, make it very clear why you want their phone number. Not just randomly or else they're never gonna respond. You guys talked in that moment about we should do this thing in the future. Might be new and it might be a little bit scary, but remember that anything is possible. That's the moral of the story. Trust your gut, trust the process, and commit to these things and these dreams which you're trying to pursue. And yes, it might be scary at times, but take that chance on yourself because you don't want to be regretting it 60, 70, 80 years from now, wishing you had done that one thing when you were 20 years old. And that is it for the presentation. All right, Q&A.
The other thing in the poll was sales strategies
Yeah.
and marketing. I was just going to ask you to touch on that.
Yeah, 100%. So, biggest thing within sales, you're trying to preach to these people, not preach, you're trying to promote. Okay, I'll use an example specifically. So me in a gym, I'm selling the dream of them, not my product or service. I'm selling to them how in 6 months from now on that spring break vacation, when your kids are gonna see you take your shirt off for the first time in 2 years, do you wanna be the fat beer belly dad or do you wanna have the shredded six pack? I'm selling the person on the dream of what they can become because of my product or service, not this is the best product and service in town, I have the best gym, I have the best gym equipment, we have the best community. I'm stating facts that are opinionated by me and not proven. But I can say, look at this testimonial of 6 months ago where we took 5 different women who all were just pregnant, wanted to lose weight immediately after that pregnancy and absolutely transform their body for that photo shoot they had 6 months later. Show those pictures, prove that we're capable of doing this, and sell that dream to a new client. So you're selling what they're going to get out of it, not what your product or service is. It's a little bit of a philosophy thing there.
How would you say, like, I guess, like, percentage, like, distribute your efforts within, like, marketing, operations, and, like, just, like, the different areas? Like, you can go broad.
As a CEO and founder. Versus, because at first, I couldn't see a situation where if you're truly a business owner, the first 1 to 10, 15, 20, 30 years is you going to be doing, like, every single different thing until you have the financial resources to hire specific people who has the marketing major or super good at sales. You start to hire people within your business. Initially, you are responsible for every single thing. I think it's you assessing your business model and saying, marketing is going to give me the greatest results. Diving into social media is going to be the best thing I ever did for my business. Or maybe social media has nothing to do with this. I need to be on sales phone calls 24/7 landing clients. You're deciding based on your business model, where do I need to put the most amount of my effort? And even more importantly, you're saying what things you should not be spending too much time on. This is something that I've had to deal with where it's like 6 hours deep into something that is completely meaningless compared to that other task which I should have been working on. So it's really just prioritizing the most important things and then going from there. Go for it.
It's like all of your business have been very social media heavy, like with the gym, with merge, with the shoe reselling. How important would you say though social media is for like something that's less consumer focused and more maybe like on the supplier side where it's like, you know, selling things to suppliers or like contractors or something like that?
Yeah. Two things with social media. One, what you guys were seeing from me with the product or service, using those views to kind of transform into leads and then turning the lead into a sale. If you don't need all of those leads and all of those views, I would say still document your journey, because you're going to want to look back and see what you did wrong versus right. Great example, Amazon. Who would love to see Jeff Bezos in 1990 building Amazon? Would you guys watch that TV show if it came out?
Yeah.
Because you're learning from the guy who did it best. And maybe you're the guy that's going to be the best at it. So you documenting that journey now is allowing yourself and other people to learn and reflect on it a year from now, 5 years from now, 50 years from now. Yep.
I know you mentioned how you got all of that money
Yeah.
for your gym through like approaching those investors.
Mhm.
What would you say are like the most important things that you like put in your elevator pitch?
So
to get all of
that was the 73-page business plan.
Oh right, yeah.
So that's you getting into every single aspect of the business. And when you're presenting that business plan, it's you having full confidence within yourself that this is the next thing. I did my research, I believe in my product or service, and this is my plan on how it's going to scale and do the most amount of success, profit, whatever it may be. So you just persuading this confidence within yourself that you own this and this is the next big thing. And presenting that to an investor or the person to get that property or the person which you're trying to have do a big photo shoot for your company, whatever it is. Go for it.
Thank you so much for presenting.
Yeah.
What are your plans with the gym business? How are you planning to scale?
Yeah.
The growth and
Yeah.
what's the end goal?
So, end goal, to be fair, it's unknown. I want to be nationwide. But I also want to keep a very, very, very community-based feeling. I don't want to get so corporate where you walk in there and you feel like you don't know a single person in there. I personally believe Chick-fil-A is the best example of this. They're literally everywhere, yet every single time you walk into that store, you feel very welcome and comfort, and you know that the the quality of the product is going to be pretty good. So for me, it's trying to remake their systems within having a quality product at a larger scale. For now, it's me building the best quality product and service as possible right here. Because if I can establish the most high reputation in Charlottesville, and they see it in the show, they see it in a presentation like this, they see it on the social media all the time, and they hear about it, the reviews start going off, all these types of things, we can copy and paste that business model somewhere else, and we know the success is going to be like that, versus questioning, is this going to do well here? Are the people going to like it? It's building the reputation and like the groundwork here, and then copying that system once it's flawless, not going other places mid trying to perfect that system. Systems are huge.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So my question was, how do you manage the emotional aspect when diving into such like big investments? Obviously like you talked about confidence, that's definitely a key factor, but
Yeah.
like when it's like all of what
Yeah.
you have, like
Yeah.
what you're putting
Like
into
dropping $15,000 and be like, fuck 'em, this is it.
Yeah, like how do you, I guess, like think, like what are some things you evaluate before you do so?
Evaluating before I do any decision like that is doing the research. That goes back to not selling a sneaker after or without doing the year of research.
Yeah.
So it's believing within the brand, believing within the business, and believing within yourself that you're doing the right thing, of course. That's the first thing. I would then say after you click the purchase button for the $15,000 order of the t-shirts, pressure is a privilege. This is a fact. When you have all of that on the line, you are now forced to make it work, or else you are going to be drowning and drowning and drowning until you get up $1. And nobody wants to be in that situation. So it's your responsibility to flip the switch as soon as you get into that spot of like, okay, I had $15,000, now I don't. If I don't sell these shirts, I can't eat anymore. So you're forced to sell those shirts. Also, I would say put that pressure on yourself. Because if you have $15,000 and you only drop 1,000, you're comfortable still. Your motivation to sell the $1,000 worth of shirts is like bare minimum, because like it's not gonna make or change my life.
Yeah.
So take the big investment, believe in yourself, believe in the product, believe in the service, and you're putting that pressure within yourself to either thrive or drown, and that pressure is truly perfect. Yeah, routine's huge. I gotta say that my distractions are at the bare minimum. Sacrificing for success is a huge thing, where like if you have friends who aren't supporting what you have, or they're doubting you, or if anything they're even hating on you for doing your thing, these are all distractions in here which are going to demotivate you to do a single thing. So it's removing those types of people out of your life, because they're not helping you, they're hurting you. Why would you have that in your life? It doesn't make sense. Okay, I need to wake up tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. because I have a phone call with this guy who's gonna make or break my business. It's my responsibility to get a good night's sleep that night. No, I'm not going to the party, bar, drinking, friends, no. Because it's my responsibility to show up the next morning. And when you have meetings every single day, it becomes that responsibility every single day. And when you have goals big enough, you make those types of sacrifices. But to be fair, the bigger the sacrifice, the bigger reward. My life is very fulfilling, even though I'm not going to the parties and hanging out with people all the time. And I'm able to create relationships within my business that give me that sense of like, this is fun. These are great people. We get food every single day because we're making money and we can fund it. Then we get to go on trips, which are great. So you're kind of like saying, I'm gonna sacrifice this temporary pleasure a little bit right now. I'm gonna work my butt off, and the reward of that is gonna be even more pleasure. So it's understanding that process and trusting the process, and minimizing those distractions as much as possible at the beginning.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. That was good.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.